Okay, I see we are now broadcasting live here. We're just getting folks up and running as we reach the top of the hour and open up today's session to all of you who've been waiting in the waiting room to be here with us today. Welcome. We're going to be talking about two categories here today over the course of the next hour together. We're going to be talking about the curriculum, what you'll be learning in this program, who the program was designed for, and what some of those learning objectives are. We're also going to be talking about how the curriculum is delivered to ensure that you have the very best learning experience possible. So we're going to take you through both of these themes here today as we explore this program together over the course of this next hour. Here in just a moment, I'm going to be introducing our keynote faculty presenters who are here with us to tell us all about this program that they've designed, this community that you're joining at Berkeley University of California. And here to tell us all about it, we have Ali Hess, who's the Associate Director of Communications at Berkeley Executive Education. Ali, thanks for being here with us. I'm going to pitch the spotlight over to you.
Thank you so much, Marie, and thank you everyone for joining us in today's webinar, Business Analytics for Leaders. As Marie said, my name is Ali, and I'll be kicking off today's webinar with a bit of background about UC Berkeley, the Haas School of Business, and Berkeley Executive Education. So as you can see in this first slide here is a beautiful view of the San Francisco Bay from the UC Berkeley campus. And this tower that you see here in the foreground, this is called the Campanile Tower. And if you have the opportunity to come join us on campus ever, you can actually take an elevator to the very top of this tower and enjoy 360-degree views of the UC Berkeley campus. But as you can see here, UC Berkeley was founded in 1868 and is the flagship institution of the 10 UC research universities, as well as 5 medical centers. And it has a student population of over 40,000 students in both across the undergraduate and graduate degree programs. And next we'll be taking a look at the Haas School of Business. So Marie, you can go to the next slide. Great, so the Haas School of Business is located within the UC Berkeley campus, and it was founded in 1898 by a woman named Cora Jane Flood, and it's actually the second oldest business school in North America. And Haas currently has 6 degree programs as well as Berkeley Executive Education, and all 7 programs are ranked in the top 10 among public universities. And next we'll be looking at directly affiliated with the Haas School of Business, Berkeley Executive Education. So Marie can go to the next slide. Great, so Berkeley Executive Education's mission is twofold, and both involve you. The first is to create a positive impact on business and society. And the second is to extend the critical work of our faculty beyond the university and into the greater world. And so a special thank you to all of you to your contribution to our ability to achieve this major impact by way of your engagement in our programs. And we'll look at some of our program offerings. So you can go to the next slide, Marie. Great. So Berkeley Executive Education has programs that focus on 4 major areas, which are leadership and communication, entrepreneurship and innovation, strategy and management, and finance and business acumen. And we offer online programs, including our programs that we do in partnership with Emeritus, such as this one today. And I definitely encourage you to check out our website to see all of our program offerings. We also have programs for individuals as well as custom programs for corporate, university, and government clients that are seeking to address challenges and opportunities in their organizations or industries. And the next slide. So if after this program, you are interested in pursuing additional programs with Berkeley Exec Ed, I definitely encourage you to explore our Certificate of Business Excellence, which we also call COBE. And COBE is really an opportunity for you to earn a mark of distinction from a world-class university by pulling together a really customized learning journey with us. And in order to complete COBE, you will need to take a total of 17 days of programs and at least 1 program from each of these 4 academic pillars that we have. And you have 3 years to complete the certificate. So if you do decide to pursue COBE after Business Analytics for Leaders, you'll already have 2 of your COBE days complete. And just a few benefits, as you see here. One is you get access to a private network of distinguished Haas alumni, a Berkeley Haas forwarding email address, a 1-year online subscription to the California Management Review, just to name a few of the benefits. But I encourage you to visit our website to learn more about our COBE offering and to sign up for a complimentary consultation where you can learn more about our program offerings and if COBE is a right fit for you. And next slide. And so wrapping up here, the driver behind everything we do at Berkeley Exec Ed comes down to our Berkeley Haas defining leadership principles, which you'll see in everything we do. And these were codified by former Dean of Haas, Rich Lyons. And these are question the status quo, beyond yourself, confidence without attitude, and student always. And without further ado, I will pass it off to our faculty for the program. Demian, I think you're going to be going next.
Yes, thank you so much. A pleasure to meet you all. Thank you so much for being here. So my name is Demian Puzo. I am an associate professor at the Department of Economics at the UC Berkeley, which is a different unit than Haas. It's very nearby. I was born in Uruguay, raised in Argentina. There I did my BA in economics at University Torcuato Di Tella. And I was, then I applied to a PhD program. I was lucky enough to get accepted at NYU. And in 2009, I finished my PhD also in economics under the supervision of Ricardo Lagos, Xiaohong Chen, and Tom Sargent. From there, my first job, and so far only job, was at Berkeley. I've been here since 2009, except for a visiting position I had at MIT. So basically, my areas of research are essentially, I guess, like there are two strands. One of them is basically in game theory, which is a branch of economics that essentially study human behavior and how human interacts. And they are basically what the focus of my research is, how humans or economic agents, how can they make decisions under uncertainty and under very complex environments. If you're a firm, in order to set your price, you may need to know who are your competitors, what are their structure, how they behave, and this is very complex problems, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So, what is the best way, or the actual way, if you will, that the economics agents make decisions. The other strand of literature I do research in is kind of related, but it's basically much closer to business analytics, and basically these are methods of machine learning. So here, basically, I develop techniques in order to extrapolate or capture the underlying patterns of the data and discover what's really going on with the data, and also like a way of quantifying the uncertainty, the things you don't know. Those two things, trying to extract the underlying patterns of the data, making robust decisions under uncertainty, they bring what they bring to the table is basically now that as economists we can quantify those and make sound decisions in terms of policy recommendations or some optimal design of policies. So that's it for me, and I will give this to Fred so he can present himself.
Thanks, Damian. So hi, I'm Federico Feinen. I'm a professor both in the Department of Economics, but also the Haas School of Business. And I received my PhD from Berkeley back in 2006. And since then, I've pretty much been at UC Berkeley. I spent 3 years as an assistant professor at UCLA in the Department of Economics there, and I spent 1 year at Stanford's Graduate School of Business. But since then, I've been pretty much here, and I've been teaching data analytics and business analytics for over 15 years now, both in the department as well as in the business school. And my research has to do with a lot to do with experimentation. In fact, one of the things that I'm most excited about is recent research that I'm actually working with Damian, where we're trying to use some of the techniques that we're going to show you in class to improve how companies can better test hypotheses and do A/B testing and experimentation. So those are some of the So some of the things that we've been that we'll be preaching are things that we're actually applying in real life as well. So can we move to the next slide? So now I'd like to actually describe a bit about the course. So we designed this course to provide business professionals and leaders a really high level understanding of how AI and machine learning are transforming the field of business analytics. And we do this over the course of 8 modules in which we discuss the 3 basic pillars of business analytics, which are namely descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. And for each of these pillars, we're going to provide real-world examples of how businesses are using these methods to transform their organization and to create and capture customer value. We will offer a series of hands-on activities so that we can not only learn, learn these techniques in theory, but also in practice. Next slide, please. So after taking this course, you will have been exposed to several what we think are key takeaways or lessons. We'll have explored such things as how to create data-based decision-making models across organizations, or how to leverage data and experimentation to drive innovation. We're also going to describe how businesses are mounting AI-centric operating models to gain competitive advantages in the marketplace and to develop a virtuous cycle built upon user engagement, data collection, algorithmic design, prediction, and improvement. The key being that this is both the present and the future, and if companies don't embrace these trends, they'll certainly fall behind in the marketplace. So who is this program for? Well, we've designed this course at a high level to make it suitable for a wide range of business leaders and professionals. You definitely don't need a PhD in math or computer science to understand these concepts. Also, we're not only just focused on the techniques, but how they relate to real business world applications and strategies that businesses have adopted. So for this reason, we think that this course is applicable to mid-senior level managers who drive innovation at their organization, as well as, next slide, please, as well as senior executives who want to better understand the business opportunities that analytics enable them, as well as regulations related to data protection and privacy. And then finally, we think that this course is suitable also for consultants who want to provide client solutions based on the latest data and technology. So as I mentioned, the course is divided into 8 modules that will cover the 3 pillars of business analytics. Again, descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. And during this course, we're going to cover such topics as data visualization, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, something called reinforcement learning, and experimentation. So in the first module, we'll take you through some case studies of how firms across a variety of industries have used business analytics to transform their operating model. And in doing so, they've been able to capture what we call the holy trinity of a business operating model, which is to achieve scale, scope, and innovation. After that module, we'll then talk about data, which can sound extremely boring, but it turns out that it's the most fundamental input into the creation of knowledge in what we will call the circle of AI. We will talk about how to access it, process it, transform it, and make it AI ready. We'll also introduce some of the concepts behind data visualization and learn some of the best practices for accomplishing it. So for the next module, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Damien here.
Thank you so much, Fred. So as Fred was saying, basically with data visualization, you capture, you learn one of the 3 pillars of business analytics. The next pillar is going to be about predictive analytics, and that's all about forecasting. The idea, and this will rely on supervised learning methods. So essentially here we're going to start learning how to exploit patterns in historical data to forecast future events using predictive analytics tools. We're going to start with what I think is the backbone of predictive analytics, which is called the linear regression model. But almost immediately, we're going to jump to state-of-the-art algorithms like decision trees, random forest, so on and so forth. And throughout, we are going to be presenting you the material at as Fred was saying, at a kind of a high level, but we're also going to get under the hood and try to understand how these methods work. It's very important in business analytics to understand how this method works, because you want to apply a certain method to a certain problem, and you need to know how they work. What are the restrictions? What are the advantages? And not only we're going to do that, we are also going to be examining a scope of a wide range of examples, business examples, where existing business use these techniques. We're going to understand how they use it and why they use it. And also, we're going to challenge you and give you hands-on exercises where you are going to be using these techniques yourselves. The next module is module 4, is going to be continuing this idea of supervised learning within predictive analytics. But now we are going to be moving to even more state-of-the-art AI techniques. For instance, this would be, as I said, random forest. There would be neural networks, logistic regressions. All these techniques are designed for basically teach you or give you tools to predict future events. And once you have these accurate predictions, you can build sound and informative business decisions about them. The next module, that is going to be module 5, is going to take us back, if you will, to descriptive analytics, and it's going to cover unsupervised learning. So what is unsupervised learning? Well, unsupervised learning is all about classification and clustering of the data. So the canonical business example is the following. Suppose you want to launch, you have 5 marketing campaigns. For whatever budgetary reasons, you only have 5. And you want to launch it, but target the specific customers to specific campaigns in order to make them more effective. You can launch a loyalty program, and this will be designed to target certain type of customers. You can try to attract new customers, and this would be a different marketing campaign. So for that, for you, it's crucial to group your customers into groups. Which groups are loyal customers, which groups are kind of in the margin, so on and so forth. That's basically what unsupervised learning will give you. There are AI techniques, machine learning techniques, such as k-means clustering and hierarchical-based clustering, that will allow you to, again, cluster the data more effectively, and based on that, make sound business decisions. And again, we're going to be looking at a wide range of business applications, including everything from customer segmentation to detecting fraudulent transactions, and so on and so forth. Module 6 is basically a little bit change of gears, and we're going to go to the third pillar of business analytics, which is prescriptive analytics, in particular reinforcement learning. So what is prescriptive analytics? Well, so far, descriptive analytics was, as the name indicates, kind of a description of the data, visualization, organization of the data. Predictive analytics was all about predictions to help you inform the business decision. Prescriptive analytics goes one step further and allows you to ask what ifs, to compute so-called counterfactuals. If you want to launch a marketing campaign, what would happen to sale? You have a new product. What would happen to profits? Or this is used a lot in marketing, web design. You have 2 styles of a website. Which one is more effective? Which one will bring more customers? So these techniques basically allows the computer to learn and experiment with the different options you have, and then recommend or even take the decision for you. One of the key machine learning tools for this is what we basically call reinforcement learning, whereby the computer performs a succession of trial and error interactions within a dynamic environment. It runs over and over again, and determines, after these interactions, after learning the data, which approach is best. Reinforcement learning is becoming a staple of AI-centric business. It's being used in a lot of disciplines and industries like recommender system, web advertising, even stock trading and healthcare, and many other applications. The next module is also related to prescriptive analytics, and it's more about experimentation and A/B testing. Experimentation and A/B testing is changing, in some sense, how we do business, but also the academic side. To put an example of that, the recent Nobel Prize was given to scholars that they work precisely on the academic side of experimentation, which is all about trying to learn the causal effect of a certain policy, business decision, or why not, on certain outcomes. And as I said, one of the Nobel Prize winners dedicated his life to studying this, and he's here at the Econ department at Berkeley, who is this Dave Gard. So going back basically to experimentation, and it's also called A/B testing, is essentially all about trying to run a series of high velocity tests that will allow you to learn which business policy is the best one and will help you to make sound and more informed business decisions. So with that, I will let Fred to wrap up the module description with module 8.
Thanks, Damien. So in the final module, we're going to discuss some of the concerns associated with using machine learning and prescriptive analytics and how this might affect our business strategies moving forward. So these are the topics that are present right now and are definitely going to be part of the future, because they have to deal with such things as data protection and privacy, and which will continue to be super important in this, especially in this world of big data that we're currently in. Throughout this course, we're not only going to talk about the potential regulatory aspects of big data, but we're also going to present some of the best practices associated with data protection, and also outline some steps for developing a more general data strategy. And that will help us conclude the course. One thing that I wanted to highlight as well is that throughout the course, we're going to provide several business examples and do some deep dives into some interesting case studies. And here's a list of just a few of the companies that we're going to talk about, such as the Ant Group, which provides a really nice example of how a company became AI-centric. We'll also talk about Lending Club and eBay, as well as a bunch of others that we're not mentioning here, such as John Deere and so forth. So what we did is we tried to choose a variety of firms across a variety of different sectors and industries, just to show you how the methods and the techniques that we've been using, that you'll be using throughout the course, has really impacted pretty much all of the business world. And so with that, I will pass it back to Damien, who will describe the Capstone project.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Fred. So basically, this 8-way business analytics for leaders course, it culminates with what we call the Capstone project. And this is a project that will allow you to bring everything together in a business application. So the idea basically is that throughout the course, throughout the videos, throughout the live webinars, the office hours, you will be learning the concepts and the business analytics tools we described to you, again, through how the algorithms works, through business examples, actual hands-on exercises. And at the end, basically what you are going to be doing is you're going to be thinking of a business problem that is of your interest, and you will be able to use the tools, some of the tools you learn in the course, in order to address it and tackle it, or at least propose a solution. So you will be basically creating a slide deck, and you're going to be present a proposal by applying, what you have learned about. What's this about? Well, it could be anything you like. Essentially, it could be a business problem that you are facing in your company right now, like currently when you're taking the course, and perhaps these business analytics tools will help you with the problem. Another one, it could be that something that you're planning to do is not necessarily something that is happening. You are planning to launch a new product, you're planning to launch a new marketing campaign, or do some changes to the companies. And again, using predictive analytics or prescriptive analytics tools, you will be able maybe to make some progress on this problem. And finally, it could be a problem that, it doesn't really pertain to you, or it's not about your company, but you're curious. It could be a problem of the industry, or you're just curious about this problem. And then again, you study this through the lens of business analytics. So roughly speaking, the format, or the idea of the Capstone project is that first you get a data source, what data you have at hand, how can you clean it, how can you visualize it. So this is basically the data can be a bit dirty, so to speak, in a format that is not amenable for communication. So you have to clean it, you have to visualize it. That's where data, the first part of the business analytics comes in. Second, you can use an algorithms, again, prescriptive analytics or descriptive analytics to predict and categorize things. And finally, you could use A/B testing or reinforcement learning to test the hypothesis that you have and to decide what's the best course of actions. With this, basically, we conclude the description of the course, and I will pass it back to Marie. She will take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both of our professors for being here with us today and taking us through this important content as we seek to explore this program in further detail. It's been an absolute honor learning more about this course from both of you as you were integral in the design of the curriculum. We did want to take you through this other category of information about the program, which is how is the content delivered in a way that allows you to have the very best learning experience possible. You can see some of the themes that are listed here on the slides that will help describe the platform that you'll be using throughout the program. It contains various videos, reflection exercises, polls, discussions where you and your peers can debate and talk about these themes and talk about how these concepts come to life in your respective geographies and your respective industry areas. Therefore, learning not only about the program and about the content, but also learning from your peers as well as you see these concepts come to life in your industry and the work that you do, as well as across other industries and other geographies of your peers. So a lot of rich opportunity for you to build relationships and learn from one another. There are triad activities helping you to take these concepts and apply them in real time, really tinkering with these ideas as you go along. There are crowdsourcing activities, quizzes, assignments, peer reviews, allowing you a chance to see where your learning is and help to stay a part of the learning community and advance knowledge for both yourself as well as your peer group as you work together on completing assignments. You've already heard about that Capstone project, which is a huge takeaway from the program. You'll have a tangible project or portfolio that you can then carry with you outside of this program. The case studies that we spoke about a moment ago allow you the opportunity to really examine these concepts in the real world by taking real, true story cases and really analyzing them from multiple different lenses as you learn how these concepts look when they come into action in the real world. There are notable guest speakers, there are demonstrations, simulations, and then there are also live components as well. These bottom two on the left, there are live sessions with faculty similar to this one here, where you have a chance again to engage live with the course faculty here at Berkeley. You also have live office hours. So in addition to teaching and learning sessions, you also have a chance to go and speak with your peers and speak with your learning facilitators who are in the program with you to get your questions answered and to seek out additional resources. So a lot of opportunity again here for you to engage. Now, as we talk about these live office hours here, we wanted to give you a little bit more information about your teaching team. You are joined by learning facilitators. So in addition to your faculty who you met today, Berkeley has chosen learning facilitators who are experts, industry practitioners to come into the program and guide your day-to-day learning experience. These subject matter experts will help to answer your questions related to the content in the program. They're going to be on the discussion boards with you and your peers, helping to drive engagement and push your thinking. They're providing you with customized feedback, individual feedback on your assignments. So you're not simply submitting assignments for completion, but you're submitting assignments to your teacher as a way of helping to deepen your understanding and get that personal feedback on how you're doing. And again, on the discussion boards, really helping to keep the levels of engagement up throughout your entire learning experience. This is also a way for you to customize your learning a bit. We talk about this as an executive education program where a big part of what you'll be doing is participating in a reciprocal learning environment. So exploring these themes with your learning facilitators during office hours is certainly an opportunity for you to do just that, to contribute, as well as to come in and ask for what you need. If there's a niche area of interest you want to explore further, or additional resources about a topic that's related to the work that you do, your learning facilitator will help to provide you with that information. So a lot of opportunity for you to get the support that you need for your learning as you move through this program. So in summary, the learning pedagogy is something that we call bite-sized learning here. I'll highlight that for you. And essentially what this means is you get to learn at your own pace. There are small segments of content that you'll watch as you are introduced to new concepts, and then you step away from those concepts and really, again, tinker with them through assignments and other activities in the program to really help you fully immerse yourself in those concepts, see how they come to life, and begin applying them in your life, in your career, before then moving on to the next concept. So this is a model that's difficult to replicate in a traditional classroom where there's only a certain number of seats in the room and a certain number of minutes to get through the content. In the online world, we're really able to develop a program where you can fully immerse yourself at a pace you're comfortable with and build relationships as you go. So that's our bite-sized learning model. The time commitment here is 4 to 6 hours per week, and there are 2 months of content. So as you look ahead across these 2 months, you're looking to identify 4 to 6 hours that work best for your schedule. That could be in the mornings before work, on your lunch break, in the afternoons while the children are sleeping, in the evenings and weekends. You're able to identify those windows or blocks of time that work best for you. Most of the components of this program are asynchronous, allowing you to engage in a way that's flexible around your availability. So the assignments, quizzes, peer learning discussions, these are all taking place asynchronously, and you have live teaching sessions as well. These are recorded and posted into the platform. So even if you're not able to attend a live faculty webinar or office hour, you'll be able to go back and review anything that you missed. They are recorded and posted into the platform for you to review. You'll also get frequent communications throughout your time in the program from your learning facilitators, as well as your technical support team. You have a 24-hour tech support team helping to hold space for all of these different circles of teaching and learning that are taking place throughout your time in the program. You'll be able to access the program content for an entire year. So not only the 2 months, but you'll have access to the platform for an entire 12 months. So you'll be able to go back in, watch videos, and engage in the material in new and interesting ways as you bring to life your learning within your career and within your organization. With that, we've reached the last and final slide here before we open up the floor to questions. This is where we tell you all about what's next. So you see there's a link across your screen here. This link will take you over to our enrollment page. You're not able to click on the link that's currently on your screen because we're in presentation mode right now for today's webinar. But for a clickable link, we invite you to now open your chat box. We have our host here with us in the back end. I'm going to ask our tech support host here to go ahead and post that link there for us in the chat box, that clickable link that will take you over to the enrollment page. Once you're on the enrollment page, you can put in your contact details, and the very next thing that will happen once you submit those details into the enrollment form is a member of our program advising team will pick up the phone and give you a call, send you an email, and get connected with you. Our program advisors are the course foremost experts when it comes to all of the logistics for the program, the dates, the times, the time zones. If you're wondering about frequency of live sessions or the balance between synchronous and asynchronous learning, they can walk you through all of those logistical details. They're also able to help with any course policy information. What happens if I'm late with an assignment? How do I earn a verified certificate of completion from Berkeley, University of California? These course policy questions they can help you with. And finally, the registration and enrollment process. If you're looking to explore financing options, flexible payment options, or special group enrollment pricing, they can assist you with those areas as well. So again, our program advisors, they are the foremost experts in the course logistics, policy, and registration process. They are here with us live on today's call. We are joined by our program advisors who are helping to answer questions in the question box. So if you've put a question in and you've gotten a response via typed text, that was likely one of our program advisors here helping to support the session. So get connected with one of our advisors here by going over to the link. You'll see it now in your chat box. So it's there now at the bottom. There's also an email address listed right under the link there. That email address is berkeley@emeritus.org. That's another channel for getting connected with an advisor. Simply send us an email there at berkeley@emeritus.org, and we'll get you connected with one of our advisors who is here with us on the call today. Simply reply all and let us know you need an advisor, and we'll get you connected. So a lot of different ways to get connected with a mentor, with an advisor, but we want to make sure that your level of support begins right now. So this program is designed to give you a high level of relationship building and engagement and support, and all of that begins today as you get connected with your advisor and seek to get prepared to join the program. For our first question from Miguel, I'm going to read this out here. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a hot topic, certainly, especially in healthcare. Can you share a case study or an analytics that's driven by the assessment work you have applied to help solve or improve diversity efforts in the workplace? So this is a very specific area of interest. I'm not sure if the program develops this out, but were you thinking about diversity and inclusion, or are any case studies going to be applicable across this area that we dive into in the program? Over to you, Professor Finan.
So great question, Miguel. We actually do cover it a bit in the final module, and the reason why we cover it is because as you've mentioned, it's become a very hot topic, particularly in the application of some of these machine learning techniques. So if you think about it, so take for instance the case where you have this algorithm that you're training on data that may have systematic biases built into the data. So for instance, if African Americans have been discriminated against in terms of their loan application, and you're using those data to train your algorithms to decide who you should give a loan to in the future, the data that's present, or the biases that are present in those data, will get built into these predictive methods. And so this has become an extremely important topic, an extremely sensitive topic. And this is some of the things that we talk about in the final module when we try and take a step back and we try and, so up until that module, we're telling you how great all these tools are and all these techniques and how it's transformed businesses. But then in the last module, what we try and do is we say, well, let's take a step back. Let's see what some of the pitfalls might be. What are some of the things that we can do moving forward to eliminate some of these biases and so forth in the way we make our business decisions?
Thank you, Professor Finan. Kumar, I see your question about the number of live sessions per week, and I'm going to leave that one for our program advisors who will jump in and help to walk you through that. They'll be able to give you a more accurate schedule. In fact, your program advisors can even help to send calendar invitations when the time comes to block off your calendar for any live sessions you'd like to plan for with a program advisor if you haven't done so already, and they'll help to assist that. Now, Net Promoter Score is something that is a piece of information that can be used as we assess products. So in IT companies particularly, are we going to discuss the topic in this course? There's currently a debate about whether NPS is an accurate measurement. So is NPS something that we cover at all in the course, and maybe even just share your own personal views on Net Promoter Scores?
So I can take that this question. So I think we don't know. We don't directly discuss NPS in the course. The course is a bit more geared towards essentially more like classical business analytic tools. In terms of my views, I think a lot of tools that you are going to learn in this course, I think they may offer an alternative way or approach to basically achieve the same thing you are achieving with NPS by studying the data and started trying to understand certain patterns of the data and making predictions based on that.
Thank you. And in terms of prerequisite knowledge, we have an anonymous attendee helping hoping to get a better understanding of the level of prerequisite knowledge that is helpful to have coming into the program. It looks like this attendee is a graduate student in EECS without a lot of work experience. Is this going to be a constraint? So we talk a lot about applying these things to our organizations, to our business units. If we're just starting out and we don't have that mid-career executive level understanding or decision making roles, is this program still going to be a good fit for us?
I believe so. So the way we design the program is basically trying to, first of all, to be self-contained, and trying to cater to the needs of people in different career stages. So the videos are more about like how things work and the actual methods, and they are with a EECS background. If anything, it would be an advantage. But we're also going to be describing business cases and hands-on applications, and all these are basically, it doesn't require any prior knowledge. They are self-contained, and I think they will be very useful for you just to see, at least starting to see how these tools that you might be familiar with already, how they are being applied in business, how business AI-centric business behave, and basically how everything, all of these tools fit together. I don't know, Fred, you want to add something to this?
Well, I would just say briefly that I think I wouldn't say it's a constraint. I think it would almost, to some extent, be an advantage, because what that means is that you have sort of the technical background to understand a lot of these algorithms quite easily. And in fact, you might already have had some experience with these algorithms. And so what you'll be able to take away from this course is how these algorithms, which you're familiar with, are being applied in the business world and with regards to business strategy and so forth. And so I think at some level, it's good that you come in with this background, because it means that you won't necessarily have to get hung up on any of the other concepts, or any of the other more technical concepts.
Thank you, professors. Otherwise, I'll invite our professors for final words of wisdom, words of advice to folks who are seeking to join this program. Any final thoughts that you'd like to leave us with here? I'll pitch it back to you for final comments.
For me, no final comments. Just thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you during the course. Thanks a lot.
The only thing I would like to highlight in terms of the final comments would be, one are the live sessions, which Damien and I find particularly enjoyable. It gives us an opportunity to meet the students, to learn from them as much as they learn from us. There's also a virtual happy hour that we do, where we get to know the students on a much more personal basis, and I have to say that's one of the highlights for me in this program. The other thing that I would like to emphasize is that the learning facilitators are absolutely top notch. I mean, they were really spectacular. They're just, not only are they great instructors, but they're really special individuals as well. And I think they do a great job of creating synergies and connections and making sure that the students are not only connecting with us, but that they're more importantly, perhaps, connecting with each other, networking, building social capital, as we like to call it. So I think those are two important features that you should take into account when making this decision.
Thank you for that as well. To both of you for being here and staying all the way up through the end of our questions. Absolute honor learning from both of you about this program here today. Thank you for staying on and helping to answer questions. Thank you again for joining. And with that, we sign off with a heartfelt good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day to all of you from across the globe. Thank you again for being here, and we hope to see each and every one of you again in the program.